Yeah, I share it too. So yeah, we actually live now. So
What up, everybody?
what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Nothing But Nuggets podcast. It's your boy Antoine Campbell, the All Y'all Giver. Today I got a very special guest, all the way from San Antonio, Texas, Quentin Flores.
What's
Uh,
up, guys?
Quentin, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Let everybody know who you are.
What's up, everybody? Quentin here. It's crazy. I've been talking with Antoine for a minute. Like, this is our first time actually having a conversation, really. But we've been supporting each other's platforms for a long time. But my name is Quentin Flores. Real estate investor here in San Antonio, Texas. I run an acquisitions firm here. We have about 17 guys on our team. We do deals in Houston, Dallas, San Antonio primarily. We branching off into other areas. We do everything from fix and flips, creative finance. We also love to clear title on houses. We specialize in curative title work. And yeah, man, I've been doing this for a while now. We're centered here in San Antonio. Love San Antonio. Love the Spurs. Go Spurs, go. And just having a good time. I'm the founder of Wholesaling Houses Ground Zero. If you guys aren't in that group, it is a platform that I created to help you guys take your businesses to the next level. From ground zero all the way to surface and then to the atmosphere. So that's how we do it, man. I'm super excited to be on this podcast, bro. Thank you for inviting me.
Man, no problem. Welcome to the podcast, brother. I know you said you have a big team, but like, how in the world did you get started in real estate investing?
Well, bro, I was actually just by myself, man. You see, at the beginning, when I first got into this space, it was a challenge, man. Because I'm not gonna lie, dude, I looked really scrubby. I mean, I feel like I still look scrubby. That probably never goes away, right?
Yeah,
No, but I at first at the beginning, I was going from seminar to seminar, learning from other people who are also doing the business. And at the beginning, I was just really trying to get my foot in the door. There was so many different hold on, give me 1 second. There were so many different avenues, but everybody was charging like 5, 10,000, 20,000.
right.
And when I first got in, bro, I feel like that whole, how do you call it? Like, what would you call it, man? Like, people in suits were still selling mentorships. Nowadays you get somebody who looks like you and me who are doing the business, and we just who we are, right? Like
Yeah,
we
that,
chilling in our shirt, like we kill
that,
it, like we do what we do.
that model went out the door. You talking about
It did.
the drive by guru? That's what we call them.
Yeah,
So now,
man.
like
Yeah.
the gurus are different. It's like it's like you said, the guy look like you and me. They're young and they showing you what they know, and I don't know if they charge for $5,000 or $10,000, but it's a different model.
I had no money back then, man. I was like flat broke. I was selling pot to get by. So any money that I made doing that, I put into my real estate business so I could learn more. And I ended up joining this group here in town called SARIA, San Antonio Real Estate Investor Association. And the guy who was running that operation put me under his wing for a little bit. I learned from him. And then from him, I ended up going to a seminar called Lifestyles Unlimited, where I learned about buy and hold. And I would meet a friend there named Chris and my buddy Garrett, and they kind of got me and put me into the real estate space. And ever since then, man, I feel like it's just been one person to the next that I've been learning from, but I bring value first. Like where I
Right.
can't, where I got to right now was not just like, oh, okay, Q got lucky because he met a bunch of people. That's not how it worked. At the beginning, if I wanted to learn something, I didn't have money. So the best thing for me to do was to provide value to the people and let them know, like, hey, look, all right, you have a list of people that you need me to go knock on their doors. Let's go. I'll knock on all their doors. You know what I mean? You got a list of people that you want me to cold call. I have no idea what to say. Tell me what I need to say. I pick up the phone and I'll do it. You know what I mean? And that's how I learned. I learned from one person, working for that person, to the next person, to the next person, providing value, making that individual a lot of money, while also getting what I was wanting was to learn. I wanted to learn. So it's been about like 5 years now since I've actually like started actually like doing consistent deals every month. And from 3 years ago, opening up our first office to where we're at right now has just been a phenomenal journey, man. I give it all to God at the end of the day. But I had a lot of fun. Like at the beginning, that drive is still there. But if you're watching this and you're at the beginning, like this is the most exciting place to be right here, because once you accomplish one goal and this stuff becomes real, that stuff just like multiplies into everything
Right.
else that you've ever wanted to do. And then
I
you just
agree.
realize that you can do this, right? And once you get past that confidence factor, you get Godfidence, right? And that's when your business just moves to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next, So,
So,
it's been fun, man. It's been fun.
so you said 5 years, you was out hustling, helping people. What
Mhm.
was the turning point 3 years ago that like switched you on to the point that it became a consistent operation?
Crazy story. Okay, so at the when I first really was gaining traction, I was still living in a very rough part of San Antonio, operating out of this guy. At the time, I could not get approved for like a house. I was trying to buy my
Right.
first house. Obviously, I didn't have business credit. I didn't have income that was taxable because the money that I was making came from what I was doing. And the turning point was my landlord came by, a guy named Marcus Sertucci. He's an OG here in San Antonio. If he's ever watches this, Marcus, I appreciate everything you've ever done for me. And Marcus, he was the owner of the building that I was living in. He approved me knowing damn well I didn't have any real income. Like the
Right.
income, like he knew what I was doing, but he saw something in me that not a lot of people saw, and I'll always be grateful for that. And so I lived under him in a 2-bedroom, 1 bath townhome, upstairs, downstairs, 900 square feet for $600 a month. I paid him cash, and I was like an off the record, tenant,
Right.
which was really cool. But Marcus came to my apartment one day, and this was in 2017. It must have been in January. And he asked me if I had rent, and my house smelled like weed. So I got like, I was like, I'm going to be right out, and I caught him walking outside. And then he was like, "Hey, Q, how you doing?" And this guy was hardcore Mexican, bro. And I was like, "I'm doing good. Hey, guess what, Marcus? I'm finally doing the real estate thing. It's starting to be consistent. I just wanted to let you know, hey, I know you have properties, right? If you ever want to sell any of them, or if you're interested in buying more, I can help you." And he said, "Oh, wow, Q, that's great. I'm super happy for you." And he was like, "Check this out. Actually, I have this 20-unit apartment complex downtown, and I would love the opportunity for you maybe to find someone who'd be willing to buy it." And I was like, this happened a lot quicker than I thought it
Right.
would.
Right.
And he tells me about this apartment complex that he owns. I go down there. This was one of two. I actually done 4 deals with this man over the last couple of years, but this was the first one. And it was right downtown. It was near San Antonio College on the other side of his office. And the house, this apartment complex, I'm pretty sure it was like somewhere between 10 to 20 units. I don't remember exactly, but it was filled with homeless people, right? And there was nothing but homeless people living in it. And he bought it and never did anything with it. He was supposed to reconstruct it,
Oh,
kick the homeless people out, and be done with it, right? And so this was like the first time any of this ever happened. And so I asked him how much he wanted for it, and he told me $250,000. And I was like, "What? Like, okay, that's a lot of money to put on a piece of paper, but let's do it." Any other house I wholesaled prior to this was like $50,000, $20,000
right.
contracts. This is a big one. Plus, the guy wanted me to put up earnest money that I didn't have. We signed the agreement, bro. In like 2 weeks, I wholesaled that deal. I made a little over $125,000 on that
Good God
one
Almighty.
deal. And bro, it's funny because I was outside, right? And the investor that I sold the deal to, he wanted me to go out there and make sure that the property was vacant. So I was telling some of the homeless people that they had to get out. And then out of nowhere, bro, Ken's 5 Eyewitness News rolls up with cameras, and they're like, "Who are you? What's your name? Are you gentrifying this neighborhood? Yada yada yada." I didn't know what to do, man. So I'm like, yeah, so check this out. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. And I would let them know that I was wholesaling this thing. They didn't know what the heck I was talking about. They thought I was buying it. And so I came on the news a little bit after that, and it literally said real estate investor Quentin Flores underneath it. And that had been the first time I caught clout. I'm
So,
known as that guy who also eats the most tacos, because I'm also on the news for eating tacos here in San Antonio, which is pretty funny.
so, you know, making $120,000, like that, I'm assuming that's probably your first like big lick that you had, like 6
100,
figures.
bro.
What
My
the hell
first
did
deal
you
was
do with the money?
2,100
Like,
bucks.
did you trick it away? Did you invest back into your business? Like, what you do with your first lick of money? I want to know.
I didn't know what the heck to do. I never made that much money in my whole life, man. I bought into a what was it? I bought like 1,000 bandit signs. I think that was my first investment. And I bought these cool decals that I could put on the bandit sign so I could spray paint it, because writing them out was a lot of time. Just to
Right.
find out that the spray paint and that decal stuff would only last like 50 signs. I needed multiple decals, otherwise the message was going away.
Right.
Yeah, I tried doing direct mail. I signed up for this platform called Real Acquisitions. My buddy Ross Alex, who was one of my first mentors, I bought his program too, Flipping on Fire. And that program actually excelled me into figuring out about how to raise private money and how to flip houses. Ross Alex is in Houston, but he's from New York. Hella cool guy. He talks like this. He's like, "Yo, what's up, Quentin? How you doing, brother?"
Hot
You know what I
dog.
mean? Like I'm
I want
good,
a
man.
hot dog.
Right, just got done eating a hot dog.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I
man,
guess.
I bought into his program too. I invested a lot of that money in things that I didn't know what I was doing. In Real Acquisitions, I downloaded a crap ton of leads and I sent out probably like $8,000 in direct mail and tried answering all of those calls, and that got me nothing. So it was that money though. After I was done burning through maybe half of it with failed marketing plans, I just started, building out what I was actually wanting to do, and that put me in line with my business partner Garrett and my buddy Leon, and that really built the foundation for everything that we have going on here. Now here we have an office. Our office about 4,000, 5,000 square feet. Got a pool table in the center. Got about 17 guys that work here. Half of them working from home. The other half are here because of COVID-19. I have a back end team of virtual assistants, not like you, but I think my two virtual assistants do pretty damn good in our business. And I think that first deal, man, was a big deal to me. I spent a lot of that money getting out of debt. I spent a lot of that money trying to revamp my company, doing some testing and some trials and tribulations. I don't think a lot of people understand this, and this is a nugget for you guys. You have to literally be mentally prepared and capable to handle that amount of money. If
I
you've never
always say
had that
that.
amount of money, bro, if you've never had that amount of money before, you're going to like freak yourself out, because now it becomes real that you can produce that amount of money. And if you can do that, then you could do it 1,000 times, 100 times, 100,000 times, because now it's real, right? But that's why mindset's such an important thing, especially in business. If you don't think on your toes and you don't think correctly, bro, these decisions, they're going to bury you if you don't understand how to handle that amount of money. If I would have known I could have used that money to build like a portfolio of rental properties, and if I would have known what Subject 2 was back then and all these different creative strategies, creative finance, I probably would have made a different play. But I put most of it back into my business.
So let's
And
talk about transitioning to being a one-man show and to incorporating everybody that's on your team to you being the leader that they look up to every day. How was that as far as like being a young kid making all this money and all of a sudden now you have all these lives in your hands as far as like making sure they being taken care of financially, making sure they get the proper training they need to be able to effectively do their job and all of that stuff.
bro, I think that when it comes to building out a team is hard. If you're not a leader, like if you've never undergone some sort of like leadership role in your life, and this is the thing, right? And if anybody who reads the book Traction knows what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
There's like 4 different types of people who are able to run a business. The person who started the business is often not the best person to finish the business. Did you know that, right? So a lot of people that are watching this, that may be like that may contradict traditional thinking a little bit, because ultimately what boils down to building a team is you have to understand that you have to be present, you have to be a leader, right? I suck at holding myself accountable. Obviously, I'd probably have a 6-pack by now, right? But I got man titties and I'm a little bit thicker than I should be. With that being said, I suck at holding myself accountable. But if I have a team in front of me, I cannot fail them. I cannot. They have their lives that depend on me. Their income depends on me. So that right there goes into leadership, right? And leadership's an important thing that you have to be able to implement very quickly, especially when you're starting your own business and you're creating a team, because there are people that are going to depend on you. There are people that are going to look to you for advice, right? Not everybody that gets into this business stays, not everybody that gets into this business becomes successful immediately. And sometimes they'll join your company and you make it so easy for them, they think they can go and do it on their own afterwards, and then they leave and then they try and then they fall on their face, and this is the thing with the team, right? I've had probably 4 different types of team members in my organization. Every single one of them, I love them. They're like family to me, right? But some people, they come here. The life of a sales rep is about a year to 3 years max. And
Right.
what I mean by that is that there will come a day, especially in wholesaling, when people are going to realize that they're only going to get so far with you, right? And these are people that are entrepreneurs. These are people that are already in that mentality. They joined your company with that same type of mindset that I want to pass up Q one day. I want to build my own company one day, right? Respectable entirely, right? So you have to set up the foundation. And this is something that I learned from my friend Aaron Bevins. He's a good friend of mine. He's local here in San Antonio. Shout out to my bro. I love you, man. And he told me that in his company, he only allows intrapreneurs. An intrapreneur and an entrepreneur are 2 entirely different things. An intrapreneur is someone who wants to be successful within your organization. They're down to ride, yo. Like these are like, Jesus had his disciples, right? Like he had his main people, the 13 that he would confide into, that he would talk to, right? All the time, right? But Jesus also had 4 people that he confided into a little bit stronger than everybody else. These were the people whose faith was stronger in Jesus Christ than the majority, right? One of them being Peter. Peter was down to ride for Jesus, right? People don't
Right.
know this, right? But in the Bible, when Jesus Christ was getting taken from the woods to be crucified, Peter was so down to ride, bro. My man's pulled out a dagger and like it took like 5 cats to hold Peter down. He cut off some dude's ear. You know what I mean? He was down to ride for Jesus, right? And so in leadership, you are going to have those Jesus like characteristics in people. Like, who do I influence in my team? Who is my core team? Who's my core team? And who are the ones that are just here trying to educate themselves and get by? Eventually, man, you hire so much that you realize that, okay, out of every 10 people that I hire, I'm probably only going to have maybe 1 or 2 of these people that I can truly depend on. And this is where capitalism comes into play, right? Because I will always give my time and spend my time with people who are sacrificing the same way that I sacrifice. If I bleed for my team gonna bleed for me. If they don't bleed for me, then they just gotta get out of the way, because I'm only gonna focus on the ones that are actually here, that are entrepreneurs, that are wanting to build with the company, and they don't dream of being more successful than me. They dream of being equally as successful with me within the banner of Infinity Cash Offer, because it's not about me being successful or more successful than anybody. It's about
Right.
the company. And if we build the company together, it's our company. At that point, I franchise. At that point, I build out the structure. We go nationwide and we take this thing to another level, man. But that's the thing. Building a team does not happen overnight. Read this book. This is one of my favorite books, actually. Um, this is from John C. Maxwell. This was recommended again by my buddy Aaron. It's called The 5 Levels of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. And
That's
for
my guy.
anybody who's,
You read
yeah,
the
man.
21 Levels of Infutable Leadership by John C. Maxwell?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I
the
got
one
it
too.
here. And so,
Yeah.
like, I think anybody who's really trying to lead a team or influence people and help them become successful, that book right there will help you so much with understanding what it takes to become a leader, man. And that's the thing, yo. Like, a lot of people say hire slow, fire fast. I hire fast, fire fast, because I know that
I'm the same way.
there's that one person, bro, that is in it to win it, and that will change the course of your entire business. And it's that person I want to spend time with. It's that person that I want to find. It's that person that I'll bleed for, because I see what they're doing. I bled for every single person I ever worked for, man. If anything, I outworked every person I ever worked for. And not a lot of people, they go into a company and do that. And that's why some people fail. You know what I mean? Especially when they join an organization. Again, it's not about me becoming successful. It's not about anybody else here becoming successful. It's about the company becoming successful. We put the Infinity Cash Offer banner above everything else, man. We bleed for our colors, right? If our team ain't willing to put in the same work that we're putting in, then they don't need to be on our team.
I agree. And the number one thing I think is when you hire people, you got to watch out for toxic people that could come in and mess up the employee morale. How
Mm-hmm.
big is it for you to keep the morale of your team up? And what are some things that you're currently doing to kind of like keep that morale going up, especially during these hard times that we all going through?
Oh man, that's been super tough, bro. Another thing I will always give credit to my team for. Like, I wouldn't be successful if it wasn't for them. I have a gal here. Her name's Ayla Melendez. She's the dispo queen of our company. She sells all of our deals that come through. She's amazing. If she's watching this, we appreciate everything that you do. I got my best friend, Leon. I've known him since I was 12 years old, and he's my lead sales manager. And then I have my business partner, Garrett, and Garrett is the one who develops all the systems that we implement. So, you know, I think that going back to the question, what was the question one more time?
Morale, keeping up the employee morale. Yeah.
When it comes to keeping up the morale, that is a combination of education, mentorship, and then showing people that this is something that they can be successful in. A couple days ago, my buddy Julian, he just started at my company. He brought in a personal lead that he had been working on that he hadn't heard, like he didn't know what to do with it at all. You know, he started out in our company brand new. He got laid off in the oil field, and we closed his deal. He's been the fastest deal that we've ever closed for anybody that's been hired here. Within, I believe he's been here 17, 18 days, and it was a $23,000 spread. So that right there keeps people out with the morale. You know, we have a gong in our office, and we try to showcase everything that we're doing. Let me show you guys, actually. I'll show you all around real quick. Just so y'all can get like a tour. I'm a huge nerd, man, so you'll see stuff here. You know what I mean? But these are
you had another office before this, right?
I did. It was a lot smaller. That's my boy Q right here. Q, say what's up.
What's up? What's up with it?
Q's a lead sales rep here. He manages about 3 people in the office. This is my boy George. I also went to middle school with this cat. That's my boy Paul right there. We got that hustle and motivate on the wall from Nipsey. That's my boy Daniel. These are our board of deals that we're currently working on. That's my boy Leon right here.
What up?
This is our board that we use when we game plan. This is the pool table that we have that doesn't even freaking work. My business partner's in there, I think. He's normally there. I'm coming over here to Ayla.
So let's break down your structure since you're walking through your office. Like, I know you said you got a couple of guys working up underneath a couple of guys. Let's talk about your assembly line. Like, how does a deal start? You know, from pulling a list and what's your preferred list, all the way to dispo, if you don't mind.
I got you, bro. How about I just show you guys?
Cool.
All right. I like talking about it. I also like going over it. So this is something that's crucial for anybody who's building a team. So this is how it always works. No matter what, to acquisition, 15% of the net proceeds on an assignment fee will go to acquisition. So 15% is split up in multiple different types of ways based on your position. So we have what's called the junior acquisition model. This is accredited to the All-In family in the West Coast. When we went over there, it was a year ago, and they showed us the system. We implemented it when we got back to San Antonio. Again, I always give credit where credit is due. Carlos Reyes, Alex Sainz, and Sal Shakur showed me this, and we implemented it, and it works. So we put 8% into a junior acquisition role. Junior acquisition is a 30-day model, which basically requires someone to come in here and just grind it the fuck out. Like, I'm talking grind. And we put them in a position where they have this trial period where they're supposed to close their first deal, right? Their commission when they start out is 8%. Above them, you have a lead sales rep. A lead sales rep is the one who is training the junior acquisition model, following up on their qualified leads, making their offers for them. Everything that they push to our Podio, we use a CRM, it's called Beast Mode. Everything that they push to Podio, that will then have a lead sales rep follow up, make the offer with them, and then go and contract it with them. The lead sales rep gets paid 5% of that deal. And that is a lead sales rep here, right? And then we have the sales manager. The sales floor manager is a different position. Sales floor manager makes 2% of the entire pie that is brought in every single month for managing the entire team. If for whatever reason the lead sales rep is absent or I am not here, my buddy Leon would be the one to come in here and help us get everything. Not only that, but Leon is also entitled to doing his own deals. As someone who runs the sales floor, he is entitled to the entire 15% of every deal that he brings in. We have a specific agreement with him so that he is maintaining company processes and going over our goals and training our people. So those are the roles, right? In total, you have 8% to the junior, 5% to the lead, 2% to the sales floor manager. If a lead manager does his own deal here in the office, he's entitled to 13%. and that is of the net of the assignment fee. Let me give you an example, right? A $10,000 fee is brought to the table. 1,500 gets paid to the acquisition team. 2% of that goes to our sales floor manager. 5% of that goes to our lead sale, and then 8% of that goes to our junior acquisition. So that would be if the junior brought in the deal and then it got closed out that exact same way. Now we have one disposition position. Disposition gets paid 8% of every single deal that they close and sell for the company. Not only that, but she is also helping us build buyers consistently. She's meeting with new people. She's selling everything that we have in our inventory. She critiques our acquisition as well. If our acquisition offered too much for a property, then she tells us where we need to be at to make the deal work. She coordinates the closings as well, and she keeps us in track with the title company. And she likes to get paid. Ayla likes to get paid. So she's always on it. If we're late on even $200, $300 for her, bro, she'll cut out my head or something like that, man, and hang it on a pedestal.
So how is the pay set up? Is it monthly, quarterly, or is it like every time a deal closes?
It's every time a deal closes.
Awesome.
The reason why is we want our guys to be excited. We want them to be motivated. You know, we tried out that before where we would pay out at the end of the month. I mean, it doesn't make a difference. It's going to come out of the account anyway. You know, if you don't have a guy who does your books properly, then there's no point, right? So the way that our system works is that everything that we make in our company goes straight into a company pot, right? And inside the company pot, it stays. For example, let's say we did a $10,000 deal, right? Obviously, 1,500 would get paid to acquisition, and then $800 would get paid to disposition. That difference, the 2,300, right? So 2,300, 7,700 gets put into our company pot. Every deal that we close gets put into this pot, right? And once we have that pot, that's when we disperse funds. So me and my business partner, we pay ourselves a salary every month. And we're frugal with it. We believe in our business. So the majority of what we got gets built into this pot. Whenever we want to pay for an acquisition where we're going to buy a property, or we're going to do a seller finance deal, or we're going to take on a new project, we look at what funds we have in the pot, and then we make a decision. Me and my business partner, we both pay ourselves $3,500 a month. That is all I make on my business every single month.
You know what's crazy? I put myself on salary too, so I have an agreement with my company where I pay myself small salary, small, stupid salary, right? And then the company, in turns, with the contract, pays for everything, my lifestyle, my rent, everything, and they personally write the check. And I'm literally just working for the company until we hit that 5-year mark, and then I look and see where we at, and then I will start taking a bigger salary. But right now, it's all about being liquid as fuck. I'm even gonna get a T-shirt to say liquid as fuck.
Oh, damn. That's dope, bro.
So Operation Liquid is like, you know, for me, like a big thing. You know, I had a company before this, and you know, liquidity, man. I don't know about you, but for me as an entrepreneur, this shit is like a roller coaster. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and fake with you. It's like a roller coaster. And one thing I learned is, man, just be aggressive. You know, you gotta stay aggressive. How hard do you push your team without them feeling like you're a fucking jerk? Like, how hard do you push your team? Hey, man, we gotta get shit done.
So I'm not a jerk. That is probably my fault. And because of that, I give people a lot of chances. And sometimes that kindness can be a weakness thing. But it's because I believe in people, bro. Like, man, if you come from where I came from, bro, I just feel like no matter what you're going through or what you're doing, you could make it happen, you know. But not everybody has the same heart as you, right? I'm terrible at firing people, so I hired Leon to do that. Leon's a hard ass, bro. Leon pushes the entire team to levels, you know, but that's what's needed, you know? And as long as everybody in the team is making money, bro, that's the goal. Everybody on the team needs to be making money, right? The ones that aren't making money, it's their fault at the end of the day. We give them all the systems that they need to be successful. If they don't apply them themselves, it ain't on me. It's on them, bro. Everybody here comes in this business 100% owning their outcome. If you can't own your outcome and you blame everything for what's happening, you're never going to become successful. I own my shit, right? My wife, bro, she hates real estate. She really does. She's an artist by heart. She loves art, right? That's what she does. She paints, she writes music, she does rap songs, she does everything with art, bro. I love my wife. She's gorgeous. She does not have to be a real estate person for me to love her, because I own my relationship. If I want to have a successful relationship, it's going to be because I want a successful relationship. Not because of anything that she tries to do, but because of what I want for myself. That's when you own what you're doing. And I own everything with my business, my people in here. I tell them, when you walk in through that door, you leave your excuses at the fucking door too. Because in here, this is a winner's circle and we build each other up. So, you know, we do everything from education for them, and we try to keep the morale going too. You know, today I broke down a seller finance deal that I did where I could have either one, made $30,000 on an assignment, or two, within 6 months, made a little over $110,000 and would have been able to keep the house and rent it and make $200 a month.
So how's that structured? Like, okay, you got, I call these specialty deals where it's not traditional to the way you currently set up. How do you ensure to your guys that they're still getting paid their fair amount because they actually helped you lock it up, or they called the cold lead and turned into a warm lead? How do you say, well, you know, it's a seller finance deal, I could make 30 and cut you in at what, 15, but instead I decided to keep it?
We do this based on the possible assignment fee. For example, let's say we find a deal and we want to keep it in-house, right? We pay out the same percentages as if we were going to assign it. So all of our people here are given an MAO, right? If they are below that MAO, let's say like the max MAO that we do here is a $10,000 spread, right? We still do the small ones too, but we always shoot for a $10,000 spread. Let's say they negotiated the deal down and it would have been a $30,000 spread. I calculate paying them out on a personal deal that our company buys ourselves based on that spread. So let's say they contracted the deal at $50,000 and we could have easily sold it for $80,000. $30,000 would have been brought to Infinity Cash Offer. You will be paid and compensated on that number. So $30,000 would have been your commissions to buy you out of this deal so that we can buy it ourselves as a company. We're going to pay you out the same way. So 15% of that, 30,000, goes to acquisitions, 8% of that goes to dispositions, and our company buys the deal. And that's how it works.
That's awesome. So let's switch it up a little bit. I think we dropping a whole bunch of numbers.
Oh yeah. We were talking
let's
too
talk
about
the
the
new
list.
guy, because I know a lot of people on here saying this don't fucking apply to me. I'm brand new.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
talk about the new guy, the new girl, the new guy. I see that people like myself and like you and Max and Chris, we laid it out and make it look so simple. Now a lot of people feel obligated, like, hey, you should help me because I'm new. What are words of encouragement could you give someone starting out as far as like the entitlement?
Bro, okay, so like if you're watching this and you're barely starting out, much respect. It takes a lot of balls to put your family's like livelihood on the line here. If you just left your job, God bless you, man. You got this. If you just, you know, shut down one opportunity to give this one all your all and everything that you want to do, then you got this, right? So keep that in mind, man. Remember what you did when you started. Remember why you started to do this, okay? So again, if you're watching this, keep your why in front of you all the time. This is a question that people that are starting normally ask me, right? And you don't have to have an office or anything like that, man. A lot of this stuff, it is a lot, right? But it's because our operation is so huge. It's a lot easier for me to hold everybody accountable and keep the morale going because I have this place for everybody to come, right? But if you're starting this is a question that I always see. People see these numbers, right? Like everything that I was just talking about, breaking down
Right.
the acquisition, junior acquisition, all this stuff, right? You don't need that. A lot of people ask me this question, right? They say, Quentin, why, like, what does it take to do 5 deals a month? And let me be real with you, right? I asked them this question back and I'm like, do you know what it takes for you to do 1 deal in a month? Like, do you really know what it takes for you to do 1 deal in a month? Do you know how many times you got to go drive for dollars? You know what that time frame looks like? How many text messages that you have to send out? How many cold calls that you have to do, right? And this is something that we break down in our company, right? And let me break this down for you guys. I'm gonna share my screen with y'all for a second so that y'all can see what's up. Don't show the tips again. Open system preferences. Let me allow this real quick. Click the lock to make changes. Use password. Okay, so let me show you guys a little bit about what's up because this is awesome, okay? Okay, there we go. I should be able to share my screen now.
You should be able to share your screen.
There we go. Can you guys see it?
Hold on, let me add it to the screen. Hold on,
okay.
There you go.
So let me show you guys what's up. I'm gonna go back to May, okay? these are the current lists that my company is working from San Antonio to Houston. So this is 26,641 leads. And this is the first week of May, okay? We sent out 11,747 text messages in total. Here you'll see the number of calls that we did, 6 hours of talk time. Where it says sales made, this is how many leads were pushed to our Podio system, okay? So in total, all the leads from SMS to cold calling, this is just from an SMS to cold calling campaign, that was 14 leads pushed into Podio, that was 4 appointments made, we made 2 offers, and we got 2 properties under contract. So we have like a 38% contract to close ratio, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. But this is something that we do in our business, guys. We really put this into perspective and we keep track of everything that we do. So this is our call tool stats. This is what we use on Smarter Contact. This is our Podio. These are the RVMs that we're currently dropping. And then these are our stats that we have for the month. You know, we had 25 leads that were inputted between May 26th and May 29th, you know? So guys, you know, if all I had to do, let's go back to this month here, where it was to send out 11,000 text messages using an SMS blaster at a penny a drop, you're looking at spending, I mean, I don't know how much that is in numbers. What could that be, like
$110?
that would have been $110, right? And then this much cold calling, 6 hours of cold calling. So I know that if I spend $110 and then I spend 6 hours in cold calling, right? That's 456 calls that were made. These are live phone calls
These phone calls are made by VAs or they made by some American people?
These are agents here in town, here in my office.
Okay, cool.
So with just these numbers here, and then knowing what list that you're marketing to and how you're targeting your leads, this produced 14 leads, set up 4 appointments, set up 2 offers that were made, which resulted in 2 properties under contract. So the ultimately, guys, what I'm really trying to talk about here is that I know now that if I spend $110 on SMS and my team makes at least 6 hours of cold calling happen, that's going to result in 14 leads getting pushed to our Podio. That's going to result in 2 appointments, and that's going to result in 2 contracts. All right. So with that being said, know your numbers. If you're starting this, right, what does it take for you to do 5 deals in a month? Do you know what it takes for you to do 1 deal in a month? Because if you did, then all you have to do, simple math, multiply it by 5, and boom, you have 5 deals. You know, so it's about keeping the morale going strong in your team. It's about understanding your numbers. And if you don't have a team, keep your morale going for yourself, man. Invest in books, invest in podcasts. Listen to the Nothing But Nuggets podcast. My man Antoine got like 1 million episodes already. You know, there's something for everybody that is out there, and it's free education, and it's there for you. You know, the day of that guru, that's the drive-by guru, is dead. Those people do not exist anymore.
Right.
We give this information freely because we know exactly what it's like to have nothing. Right. So guys, the education's there. All you got to do is apply it and understand it and then implement it. And I guarantee it. And within a couple of months after watching this podcast, you should be doing 5 deals in a month.
Yeah, I agree. Especially now, like there's so much opportunities on the horizon. Within the next 6 months, anybody can be a fucking wholesaler, right? You can step in and just close deals in your sleep because the amount of motivated sellers that's going to be entering the marketplace. I'm forecasting around November. You know, like right now, you got a lot of people. They're just living off their credit cards. They're living off their own equity lines of credit. You know, they're living off unemployment. Some people making more unemployment than they was making at their job. So when all that shit run out, when all that shit run out, I'm telling you right now, that's when the knife gonna fall from the kitchen table. So,
man.
So yeah,
that's
I think it's important to set up a business. Yeah, because what's your theory on it? Some people tell people, don't worry about setting up a business, just do it. I tell people the complete opposite. Hey, do it, but at the same process, setting up a business so it can be more scalable, it can be more transparent, and then, you know, because it's easy to get 1 deal on a contract and make 40K, but can you replicate that the following month? And that's why I encourage people, and we came out with all these different systems and products and things that people can purchase, because that allows them to not just be the small guy anymore, but to be able to compete with the big box wholesalers.
I think that again, like the only competition that people create is for themselves. If they truly want this business, they're going to make it happen regardless, man. There were people that were doing scalable businesses even before that. You have Home Investors, Net Worth,
Right.
Western, all of these giant acquisition companies that are doing 50 to 100 deals a month, right? Guys, this is the thing, right? Let me put it into perspective because I've done these numbers. There is the population of San Antonio is 1.7 million, right? There is over 11, I believe 1.1 million pieces of real estate within this city. So I went back and I used Max Maxwell's buyer's list hack to see how many cash solds happened. Within the last year, over 3,200 cash solds happened. If there is 1.1 millions, if there's 1.1 million pieces of real estate, and out of all of that real estate, only 3,200 cash solds happened within the last 12 months, there's so much more,
Yeah.
bro.
That's what I tell people, because you got to look at it from this perspective. You first of all, the developers build communities, right?
Mhm.
Communities eventually get outdated and need to be updated. Investors come in, they revitalize certain houses in certain neighborhoods. So the inventory is always going to recycle itself.
Mhm.
Most of the deals that we've done thus far was all about just being at the right place at the right time. You know, how in the world can we get a deal that a big company was calling? They had 10 acquisition people calling them. They on TV, they on radio channels, and we got the deal because we was at the right place at the right time. And that's why I tell people consistently market, and you'll lock up deals. You'll lock up deals all the time if you consistently market.
Yep. I think if you go to there's a so if you go to the wholesaling houses elite page and you type in the lead conveyor belt,
Mm-hmm.
that right there is a thing that Max had developed, which basically runs one lead through 5 different marketing channels before he trashes it. So he does SMS, he does RVM, he does cold calling, he has direct mail marketing, and then I believe he does email marketing or PPC or some sort of campaign like that. So what I
Right.
love about that system that he has is we apply that too in our business as well. We do not throw leads away until we know that we've touched it in multiple different types of ways. For example, bro, I never check my email. Never.
Right.
I don't like texting, right? So I'll text back very, very late, sometimes later than I should. I'm actually supposed to text someone back right now, which is pretty funny that I'm saying that. But I'll always answer my phone. If you call me, bro, 90% of the time, I will answer, right? So with that being said, your sellers are the exact same way. Some people respond to email better than they do calling and SMS and all these other things. Some people would rather check their mail, right? Versus answering the phone, checking their email, listening to a recorded voicemail or anything. So think about the
Right.
demographic of your seller. Because in Texas, we have an exemption for people who are over 65 that can't pay their taxes anymore, right? That means that they cannot get their houses taken away from them for non-tax payments. So if I go ahead and I go to somewhere like, I don't know, thedatafleet.com, right? We have a list that you can pull there that's over 60. So if your seller is over the demographic of 60 years old, I know that they will respond to direct mail a lot better than they do anything else, right? Most people that are in that age bracket were not technologically advanced or taught how to use computers, how to check their emails, how to master a smartphone the way that we are now, right? So when
Right.
I know that that's part of the demographic, you think, if I cold call that person, I may get a good response, but there could be also a lot of landlines. You're sending an SMS to a bunch of landlines, you're not going to get a good response rate. But if I send this person a letter, I'm almost like 90% sure that that person is going to, if that person's going to pick up the phone and then call me because they received my postcard, because they are part of that age group when it was a good thing to receive a letter, right? So remember that, guys. Think about the demographics of your marketing and then think about the seller that you're trying to reach out and how you're going to reach out to them. Once you've crossed out every single marketing plan, you still couldn't get a hold of the seller, trash the lead or put it in a follow-up bucket, call it back in a year.
Yeah, I don't trash leads unless it's marked. So we just constantly market. Like, we don't market aggressively anymore after the leads, but we still touch them because, like I said, like here in America, right? Like I think 50% of all Americans don't even have $5 grand in their bank account, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
we all are literally one fucking incident or one paycheck away or one coronavirus away from becoming a motivated seller. So like
Yeah.
I always figured like, hey, the guy say fuck you, don't call me no more. You know, if God forbid, I'm not here to jinx anyone, but if he uh get laid off, or he catch stage 3 cancer, or his wife passed away and they was both splitting the bills, his demeanor and his ability to want to sell would change overnight. And the only way you would know that if you was consistently hitting them and calling them, reaching out to them.
Hmm.
So that's
Follow
why
up
I'm a
is
big
key.
believer just following up. Like, just follow up, and you never know. They might, I always tell my team, push for a referral. Hey, if you're not selling, do you know anybody else looking to sell? And it's crazy all the extra leads we generated just by adding that one little piece to our follow up script.
I love that, man. That's amazing. Even if the person says no, we do the same thing. We always say, well, look, I get it. You don't want an offer on your property. Totally cool. Check it. I completely respect what you're saying right now, right? But look, how about this? Even though you don't want to sell your property, what if I were to send you over a written agreement that says how much I would pay for it, right? Look, you don't have to use this. You don't have to sign anything. I'm just going to send it to you. Keep it in your email. If you can, print it out for me, slap it on your fridge. So if you need me on your worst day, I will be there for you. So, keep me in mind, keep me in your back pocket before you make a final decision on this property. Make me the first person that you call, okay? Use
Right.
that and see how
Yeah,
that does for
that's
everybody
a
that's
good
watching.
that's a dope script. So I always ask all my guests, 10 years from now, where you see yourself?
Real estate tycoon, bro. 1000%. I'm gonna be in like crazy stuff, dog. I'm talking about at least 10,000 doors in apartment complex buildings. I'm gonna have my wholesale firm nationwide, 100% automated. I plan on franchising the crap out of this company, moving into the database for being able to provide leads for people. I want to be able to provide skip tracing for people. We're going to be building out contracts with solar companies, with credit card companies. My business is never going to stop, man. Like for me, I'm not thinking about just my son and my wife here because I think about them every day, right? I'm thinking about my son's kids. If I can
Exactly.
make it that
I'm
far,
the same
bro,
way.
that's where I'm trying to go, man. And because of that, yo, like straight up, that's cleaner mentality. There's this book that I recently got started reading, and yeah, is another suggestion from my boy, and it is called Relentless. And the book is an amazing book, man. And I thought I had it on me right now, but I don't know where the hell it went. But the book, he talks about these different types of people, right? You have the cooler, which is someone who's very good at just getting by. They're good at their job, and that's really it. They may even be the best at their job, but they never strive to be any better than that role and known within their own little hole, right? Then you have the closer. The closer is somebody who kind of just goes out wanting the clout. They want somebody who's just like always thriving on their image. That's the Dennis Rodmans of this world. Dennis Rodman, bro, went one game where Michael Jordan scored all the points and he had 170 rebounds the entire game. He had 1 point that he put up on the board. So obviously, Dennis Rodman wasn't trying to change the way that the game was played, right? And
Right.
then you have people that are like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. These are the guys that didn't just want to come in to play the game. They wanted
Right.
to change the way the game was played, bro. And that's what I want. That is my mentality. That's where I want to be at. I don't want to just be in this wholesaling space. People see me as like this wholesale guru, bro. I've been doing this real estate long before the social media cloud ever hit me. It
Yeah.
just so happens that I was blessed with the opportunity to be able to speak on a few stages, right? Thank you to anybody who's ever invited me on one. But I never asked for that. That is not my main business model. I don't really mentor. If I have, it's been like maybe a handful of students. And I love my real estate company above all else, but I have goals and aspirations that are so beyond me. I'm trying to change the way that this game is played. So I mean, just like how Max is probably forever embedded into the wholesaling community Hall of Fame, right? That's where I want to be at times 10. So if I
Right.
can get there, God willing, then I know I succeeded in my lifetime. And I still got some years to go, but that's where I'm trying to
How
be at
old are
in
you, bro?
10.
What's your age? How old are you?
I'm 29, bro. My birthday is next month. I'm
Good
about to be
number, man.
30.
29 is a good number. That's the day I was born, 29.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
crazy,
big
man.
on, if you notice, like a lot of my prices is always like 29.88 or 88.29. It's my birthday.
Oh,
So,
wow. I didn't
yeah, I
know
price
that.
all my stuff based off my birthday. My course, my virtual selling A to Z. No, my VA mastery course, $929. People like, how the hell you get that number? That's my date of birth.
That's
So,
badass, bro. I like that. That's a cool spin on
yeah,
things.
yeah. But back to you saying about the generational thing, because I think people need to talk about that more. The founder of my brand manager, the person who managed my whole little influencer thing, he was telling me that he was talking to someone who had association with the family who founded Lowe's, and he said that the guy went into the lawyer's office and said, listen, I want to be able to take care of the next 5 generations. So he did asset protection and planning for the next 400 years that nobody from the family can't go in account and fuck the money up. They can't, there's certain milestones where they get a piece of the money. And I'm like, man, that right there is what I want to do, man. I want to do that. I want to be able to, like I said on all my podcasts, one of my things is I want to be able to be so great that college professors is talking about me and making people write lectures about me. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in the history books, And it's not just like you said, I don't want to be, please don't call me Antoine, the wholesaling guy, or Antoine, the real estate guy. I want to be Antoine, the entrepreneur, Antoine, the business mogul tycoon, like you said. So I think that you should have targets. That's a target, right? Grant Cardone teaches that. And I think you should have targets and you should aim high. I don't think that you should be mediocre and do cookie cutter things. I think you should dream so fucking big that people, when you tell them this, and people that's listening right now on this live, they should be mumbling their breath like, man, what a fucking idiot. Like, he's dreaming that big. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah,
and it's true, bro. It's true. I love that. Jordan Belfort says this better than everybody, and that guy, he made some major mistakes in his life, but he's definitely never going to be forgotten, bro. And with that being said, he developed a system called the straight line persuasion system, which is like a sales thing, right? But before he talked about that, he talked about goal setting. And this is on one of his things. It's a free video on YouTube. I saw it like 5 years ago, but he says, the problem with humans is that we set goals for ourselves and then we hit them. And I said, what? Like, don't you think that's an amazing thing that if you hit a goal if you set a goal and you hit the goal, shouldn't you just be super excited about what just happened, right? And he says, well, that's the irony of human mentality. Most people, they get out of jail and then they're right back into it. Getting out of jail was their goal, right? And some people, they get into fitness, they get really, really skinny, and then they get right back to being fat again. That's the irony of my life. I get skinny, I get fat, I get skinny, I get fat, right? And some people, that's the thing, right? You set a goal for yourself and then you hit it. If you want to be extremely successful, your goal needs to be so catastrophic that you're never comfortable because you never know that if you'll ever hit it. So you're like, instead of setting a goal that you can hit, set something that's so unrealistic, bro. You're gonna have to reach the stratosphere to be able to hit that goal. You know what I mean?
I'm the same way. Like I talk to my therapist. She's like, "What's your problem?" I'm like, "Man, I got anxiety." She's like, "What? What you got anxiety for?" And I'm like, "Man, I didn't hit my goals." And I told her what goals I did hit. She's like, "Hold on, you did all this and you still worried?" I said, "Because at the end of the day, it's not about me. I gotta, me. I'm a minority. You're a minority. I'm a Black American or African American, and we so far behind. We so far behind that I gotta pass the baton. So by the time my children get older, they can at least catch up a little bit to other people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not expecting for us to, be where the other people at. But I want them to have at least enough leeway that when it's time to pass the baton again, 100 years from now, we can see some type of significant results. That's all.
Oh, bro, 100%, man. And people don't understand, dude. People just don't understand. To throw like minorities and races into that, brother, like it's no question. I've had Black homeboys my whole life, bro. I ride for my brothers, right? And for me, man, being, I know I'm white complected. I got a Black person's name, but I'm extremely Mexican, right?
All right, I know.
And with that being said, man, I stand side by side with y'all with everything that's going on right now because it's just so sad. I know I had a friend here in town. His name's Tito Bradshaw, right? He told me straight up one time, he's like, bro, I just want to be able to live in a society where I don't have to wake up in the morning and tell my kid, who is also Black, this is what needs to be done, right, for you to live if a cop pulls you over. You know what I'm saying? The fact that that's something that has to be taught is just, it means that we're miles behind, bro. We're miles behind.
Yeah, we're definitely behind.
And all of this stuff, bro, just barely happened. People acting like, oh, it was 50 years ago, bro. I got people that are, my grandma is older than civil rights. My grandfather fought in the Vietnam War. He's 76 years old. He's older than civil rights, and he was a Mexican. He is Mexican. He's hardcore Mexican. So when you put it into perspective, bro, like we still have so much to learn. Privileged people have much to learn about what it actually takes to be part of this and be in this bracket, right? We have so much that we have to accomplish for our families to change the generation, to change the course of how things are happening. Because that change, bro, it happens not right now with us. It can happen significantly with us, right? But it's also the people that are after us, right? I teach my son every single day. I was talking to him the other day, you know, and I was showing him different colors of people, right? And I said, what do you see? He said, that's a pretty girl. He said,
Mm.
that's a boy. That's a boy. I want that boy to be my friend. Each person was a different person of color, bro. And in my head, I'm like, you see that right there? My son knows more about equal rights than most of these fucking people blabbering on social media right now, bro. And so,
Man,
like, you know, we can
people,
go into
people,
some crazy conversations about
we
that, but
here's the thing about social media, right? We're using social media in one of the most constructive ways possible. But sometimes I ask myself, God, why did you give us social media, right? Because it magnifies the situation, and you
yep,
know, I love social media. You know, we was able to build, both of us were able to build platforms. I think with social media, I know I did.
I
Um,
did. Yeah,
but when you got somebody who's just going onto their social media, blah 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 about God knows what, and then what they blah 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 doesn't even have no action or steps behind it. I'm a type of person. However I feel, I'm going to already in the background be working on a game plan to justify how I feel and how can I, work around how I feel to get results. Right? I'm not just going. You're not going to see me on Facebook. Yeah. And everything I post is a value. And that's the one thing we got to do. Not even black people, Spanish people, everybody. Anything you post, it should be of value to anybody that you're posting it to. So if I know for a fact that, hey, I got a bunch of people following me, I'm going to be cautious of the energy I put out because I don't want them to be programmed with that same negative energy. Even though there
of
is
course.
things going on in today's society that's unacceptable.
Hmm.
Yes, you get what I'm saying? But we need to have that same energy 365 days a year. Not because of the trending subject. You know, the one thing that I always tell people, if I die tomorrow, if I leave, I'm right here in the middle of Pennsylvania. God know that this place is worse. It's one of the worst places in the country when it comes to this situation.
Oh
If I
man,
die tomorrow, please don't use my name in vain for clout. Please don't use my name in vain for your PR relations. Just just do what you gotta do. Go march, do whatever you want to do, but don't use me as a pawn. That's all I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? So
damn, bro, that's real, dog. That's real,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Oh, bro, you gonna make me cry, dude. You gotta chill with that.
Nah, go ahead, buddy. You got credit, man.
No,
But
man, no, it's a big thing, bro, because you have such a dominant presence in this industry. You know what I'm saying? And it's
right.
just like if I were to die tomorrow, bro, I couldn't even imagine how big our funerals are gonna be at this point. But you know that your boy's gonna fly over there, dog.
Man, I appreciate you, brother.
100%.
Man, like I told my wife, man, if I die, man, just bury me in a t-shirt and some Nike boots. And she bust all that.
Get it?
I'm that guy, man. I step into meetings, man, in a hat like this and a black t-shirt. Like
I want
I
a
think
wire,
LaShawn,
bro, hanging above my casket with Chucks tied and then hanging from above it because I wear
uh,
Chucks with my suits. You know
I,
what I mean? Because I always kept it real with that, bro.
I think LaShawn showed my closet one time, and I just had straight black t-shirts in there. Like I think she counted the other day. She said you got 120 black t-shirts, and I'm like, man, I'm a big guy. They don't make anything that's for me as far as a fashion standpoint. So all the stuff they ever made for big guys is loud, ugly colors, and I'm like, just give me a black t-shirt. So
Right, let's throw this on. Let's call it a day, man.
yeah, yeah, just give me a black t-shirt. You know what I mean? But what could you lead the people with? I always tell people, what could you lead the people with? Some words of encouragement. Whether it's a newbie, a struggling mom, everybody got their reason why they do real estate. And the number one reason to me so far, I done talked to well over 10,000 people so far, and everybody's reason is similar. They want to get out their current situation to create a better situation. So, what are some encouragement you can give people, or some actionary steps you can lead the people with?
So I like mindset so much, guys, and I think that a lot of things that I could tell you a million things that you should go out and do, but you're never gonna get it, guys, if you don't understand, right?
Right, I
Because
agree.
there's so much that you can do that I'm sure Antoine has probably laid out a million times, yo. So look, one time I was having a really bad day. I don't know what was wrong with me. I went home and I just cried, and my girl had no idea I was crying while I was sitting in front of her, but she just put me on her lap and she made me feel a little bit better. I went to the other room. Nothing was wrong, by the way. Absolutely nothing. If anything, we had the best month of our business, bro. And it was such a great month, man. And ground zero was about to happen. I had Max and everybody coming in. Dude, it was gonna be a good time, you know? No idea why I cried. Maybe it was just because I was overwhelmed. But I remember I went into my desk and I was just typing away, and I had to call Carlos for some reason, right? I think he needed some help with Carlos Reyes, right, with the All In guys. I had to
Yeah,
call
I know.
Carlos real quick for just like, just I think I needed his number or something like that. I was supposed to wire him some money so he could fly out here. I paid for all my speakers to come and speak. And while I was on the phone with him and stuff, he asked me, "Hey Q, are you all right?" And I said, "Why would you ask me that?" Like in my head, like you know me, I'm a boss. You know what I'm saying? Like I got this. Like I always got this. That's how I always feel, right? And Carlos was like, "Hey man, I don't know what it is, but God told me to tell you this, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly what He told me, right?" So this is how this happened. And when He told me this, it was the best thing I think anybody could have given to me. And if you're watching this right now, I want to give this to you, right? So God could have created anybody. He could have like when you were given the opportunity to be born, right? He could have given that to over a billion different types of people, right? The chances of a human being born is 1 in 1 billion, guys. And for whatever reason, God, He doesn't make mistakes. He's a perfect God, right? He created you. And because He created you, He loved you so much. He created you, right? And guys, this is the thing with life, right? Is that we don't understand how powerful that is, right? The fact that God chose us to live this life, to be able to go through the trials and tribulations that we've gone through, to be able to love the people that we have, to be able to be born into the family that we have, regardless of whether or not you don't like your family. The point is there's someone on your team that loves you and you love them. And it don't have to be blood, it could be your best friends, right? So God put all of these things together, right? And this is from a sermon too after this. He says, in all of the years of God being God, not once did God ever make a table. He never made a chair, and He never made a house, walls, or anything like that, right? He just made the tree. And what we did with that tree was our gift to Him. So, guys, when God gives you this life, what you do with this life is your gift to Him. And when you get to the pearly gates, I want you to be able to tell God with your own words that I used everything that you gave me because that is your gift to Him. And that's what I'll leave you guys with, man. Antoine, dude, thank you so much, bro,
Man,
for having me
I
on this.
appreciate you. How can the people reach you if they want to get in touch with you?
Oh, dude, yeah. You guys can join my Facebook group, Wholesaling Houses Ground Zero. You can also reach out to me via email if you want to chat or something like that. You can reach me at q.infinitycashoffer@gmail.com. And you can also follow me on IG at realestate_monster1. And yeah, man, we got our mastermind kicking off on Sunday. It's 1,000% free. I'm giving all of my systems away for free. If you're trying to be a part of it, join the group, follow the instructions and the announcements. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys that are watching this on Sunday.
Man, appreciate you, man. Until next time, catch you later. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. All right, guys, there you have it. Wonderful episode. This is a really good episode. Tomorrow we having Chase from Call Tools come on. He's going to be dropping all the questions about running an effective dialer, marketing, and doing all the things you need to do to run that dialer with Call Tools. So definitely don't miss that episode. If you have any questions, if you're struggling with Call Tools, we're going to have him on our podcast. He's going to be sharing his screen. He's going to be, being very transparent. If you're thinking about getting Call Tools, don't hesitate. I use it every day in my business, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Until next time, catch you guys later. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, CEO929. If you want the replay to the virtual wholesaling webinar we did last Saturday, 7 hours of straight content. Text virtual one-on-one to 44222. Until the next time, see you guys later. Have a blessed day and do something spectacular for the rest of the day. Adios.